How's it going, everyone? It's Avi from Weather Sponge. About 1000 today is December 9th, 2021, and today we're going to focus on the major snowstorm that's expected to move through the Midwest and up maybe up to a foot of snow in some areas in the Midwest. And we'll also talk about the next potential major warm up that could bring temperatures 15 to 25 degrees above average in many places along the eastern half of the United States. But before I begin, make sure to subscribe if you want to see more weather related content. Make sure to like if you like this video, and make sure to turn on post notifications if you want to see even more weather related content. So let's begin by taking a look at the current radar throughout the entire lower 48 of the United States right now. And as you can see, we do have some snow showers moving through the Great Lakes, but this is expected to move eastward and further northward, so it won't bring much of any snow, maybe to the interior portions of the Northeast, but that's about it. The main focus of this video will be this area of rain showers and snow showers, which is currently over the Rocky Mountain ranges as of right now. It's bringing showers just to the south east of Las Vegas right now, and we're seeing some snow showers throughout Salt Lake City, and this is extending to the higher elevations of Colorado as well, where we're seeing some snow showers as well as rain showers in the lower elevations. And while this area of rain showers and snow showers doesn't look very large right now, it's expected these areas of rain showers and snow showers are expected to expand, and we're going to see the snowfall and rainfall rates rise up considerably as this heads further eastward, because this low pressure system located right around the Rocky Mountain ranges is going to encounter more instability as it moves further eastward, because of course if we move further eastward, we of course see the Gulf of Mexico located right here, and of course water takes a longer period of time to cool down or to react to temperature changes in the atmosphere. So since the Gulf of Mexico is still much warmer than the air temperature located along this low pressure system or right behind this trough, we're going to see just enough instability to induce a lot of lift in the atmosphere, and as a result a lot of convection, and we're going to see a lot of water vapor rise aloft and then condense to of course bring higher precipitation rates all throughout this low pressure system, as this low pressure system should develop at a gradual pace as it moves further eastward once it encounters a more unstable environment. But you see right now we're not seeing much when it comes to rain showers or snow showers associated with the low pressure system, but that is expected to change. You see that if we were to move to the future, the rain showers and the snow showers do expand, impacting more people, and then these areas and the snow showers could eventually impact Aspen, which is something you want to keep in mind. So next, let's take a look at the warnings issued throughout the United States ahead of this snowstorm that's going to impact a lot of the Midwest. You see that if we were to zoom in, you see that the winter storm warnings, we have a large area where winter storm warnings are issued. We have winter storm warnings issued for portions of Utah, portions of Colorado, especially the more western portions, and we see winter storm warnings extend through Wyoming, Nebraska, South Dakota, Minnesota, Iowa, and Wisconsin, and even extending to northern Michigan, as it seems pretty much likely you will experience a major snowstorm. So you guys, if you haven't prepared yet, you need to prepare now, because within 24 hours you could be under just very heavy snowfall, and that's definitely something you want to prepare for. And make sure to stay off the roads as the snowstorm approaches eastward closer to you guys, because the snowfall rates could be very high and dangerous when driving on the road. So make sure to stay indoors if you could, in case of an emergency, because it seems like this snowstorm will just impact a large amount of people and will impact travel in a major and significant way. So you need to keep that in mind. And just north and south of these winter storm warnings, we have winter weather advisories issued, as it is a little bit more uncertain if you're in the darker purples whether you'll experience a major snowfall event, as it's going to be one of those close forecasts for you guys, because any shift further northward or any shift further southward could make only several miles, can make a big difference in terms of how much snow you receive, because if the low pressure system trajectory forecast ends up being a little bit more northerly than anticipated, then we're more likely to see the heavier snow further northward and less snow along the rain snow line where it's currently forecast at the location where it's currently forecasted to be. So this is going to be one of those very close forecasts, and we're going to need to take a look at the computer models to see what they're saying when it comes to when it comes to forecasting where exactly that rain snow line will be. So if we were to continue to move forward, like I said, the snow pressure system should strengthen as it heads further eastward once it encounters a little bit more instability. We do have a dominating ridge that's dominating the southeast, and it's bringing a strong southerly flow that's bringing a lot of that warm air closer towards the low pressure system, creating a lot of lift in the atmosphere right around this area. And we see cold air on the backside of this low pressure system as a result of a northwesterly flow that's bringing that cold air further southward, and it's going to interact with the warmer air, and just we're going to see a mid-latitude cyclone type look with this low pressure system eventually as it heads further eastward. And in case of the timing, you should begin to see snow right around a little bit less than 24 hours from now, right around Wyoming and northern Nebraska, as well as southern South Dakota. And we should see the snow impact you guys very soon with with potentially extreme amounts of snow in the higher elevations, where you could potentially see 2 feet in the most extreme higher elevations from this snowstorm. But even towards Denver, Colorado, you could experience a little bit of snow from this, as it certainly isn't out of the possibility you could receive maybe more significant snow from this in Denver, Colorado. But you see that, like I said, the low pressure system continues to strengthen. The millibar pressure drops down to 981 millibars by the time it reaches Michigan, because of course we see that large jet stream dip, and since we're seeing such a large jet stream dip, it sort of just speeds up the process and accelerates the process of intensification within the low pressure system. And you see that it dumps heavy amounts of snow. We're seeing the dark blue contours, and this is something we're going to definitely need to pay close attention to. And you see that while early during the intensification of the snow pressure system, while it doesn't have rain associated with it just yet, we do clearly see that there's a dry slot and an area of snow just to the north of it. So that's going to be key to determine how much snow you'll experience, depending on how close you are to the low pressure system, because the closer you are in the more southern skirts of the snow band, the less likely you'll receive a major snow event. And the case continues even if as we head further eastward, where the rain snow line will be an issue that you guys are going to contend with when forecasting this storm. So any small differences can make a major impact in terms of snow forecast. But I will say that at this point, it's pretty certain that you will experience a major snowstorm, especially if you're right in the middle of the snow band where the heaviest amounts should fall. That's where we have the most certainty that you will experience a major snowfall. What I'm referring to is mainly the areas that are just outside maybe the 1 to 3 to 3 to 6 inch category, because then it gets a little tricky to forecast where exactly that dry and snowfall line will meet, because that will determine how much snow you'll experience. In terms of the amount of snow the GFS model wants to bring to the Midwest, if we were to take a look at its snowfall forecast moving forward, you see that within over the next 3 days, you should experience a pretty large area of 6 to 12 inches, extending from northern Nebraska to southern South Dakota, the extreme southern portions of South Dakota. And we're seeing 3 to 6 inches throughout southeastern Wyoming, and we're seeing areas over a foot of snow, with over a foot of snow right around western Colorado, especially in the higher elevations of the Rockies. But even Denver, Colorado is experiencing right around 1 to 3 inches of snow. And while that might not seem major in comparison to the rest of these areas receiving over 6 inches, expected to receive over 6 inches of snow, you can't completely disregard 1 to 3 inches of snow as not being significant, because 1 to 3 inches of snow could still significantly cause significant impacts depending on how fast that snowfall, um, how how fast the snowfall rate is. So you definitely still need to be aware of this right around the Denver, Colorado area and surrounding areas as well. And even Salt Lake City is getting involved with some snow, where the current forecast is right around 3 to 6 inches for Salt Lake City. But just to the east of it, you'll easily get closer to the 6 to 12 inch category, and maybe close to a foot in the higher elevations based on what the GFS model is saying. And in terms of where the GFS model wants to bring the rain snow line, it expects it to be just north of Chicago, and it seems unlikely that we're going to see that snow move all the way southward to impact Chicago. So if you're in the Chicago area, I'll say this will primarily be just a rain threat for you guys. But Milwaukee, the forecast should be a little bit closer. The current forecast is right around an inch of snow, but remember, any small differences of the track further southward can make a big difference in terms of how much snow you experience right around Milwaukee. Even Des Moines is the forecast in Des Moines is uncertain, because while Des Moines is currently experiencing 3 to 6 inches of snow, it you guys aren't very far from not receiving any snow, as just maybe 20 to 30 miles to the south you're only experiencing 1 inch of snow, or maybe even less in some cases. So any small differences in trajectory could make a big difference in terms of how much snow you experience in Des Moines and other areas just outside of it. But Minneapolis is getting impacted again with 6 to 12 inches of snow. So this is a pretty significant snowstorm you need to take seriously in those areas. And in terms of what the European model is saying, it's primarily agreeing with the GFS. There's very high confidence with the snowstorm at this point. Like I said, the only areas where it might be a little bit uncertain is, like I said, in the outskirts. But for the most part, this is what you should expect from this snowstorm, and prepare as if you're going to experience maybe 6 to 12 inches of snow like you are in Green Bay or right around Minneapolis. So you need to prepare for a major snowstorm for the north, for the Midwest, because it should be extremely major. But at least still stay aware of your local forecast, because there still could be some minuscule changes that could potentially make big differences in your forecast if you're right along the rain snow line or the snow and dry line. So you need to pay close attention to that. And we're also going to take a look at the temperature anomalies over the next week, because we're expecting to see a big warm up along the East Coast for the next week, which might be good news for some who prefer the warm temperatures over the cool temperatures, and who don't necessarily like the snow, as we're going to see a big warm up throughout the eastern half of the United States. Taking a look at the temperature anomaly based on what the GFS model is saying, we could see temperatures rise up 15 to 25 degrees above average, which would be significant for a lot of you guys in the Northeast. And you see that even in the near future, a lot of the Midwest should experience warmer than average conditions. This is, of course, as a result of a strong pressure gradient between this low that's going to bring a major source from the north to the Midwest, as well as a ridge that's dominating the Southeast that's bringing the warm temperature from southward all the way northward to the United States, where we're seeing areas with under 20 degrees, with temperatures 20 degrees above average, especially towards Texas, and even some areas having temperatures over 30 degrees above average, which would be a record for some of you guys. And this is Fahrenheit, not Celsius, so this is very significant. If we were to move forward, the temperatures should wind down a little bit for the eastern half, but we should see the temperatures rebound again once another low pressure system moves through, and we see another pretty significant pressure gradient between a low pressure that's moving northward and a ridge that's bringing a strong southerly flow, and that could bring temperatures 40 degrees above average by next week, which is just mind-blowing to see temperatures that go that much above average. And this will, of course, extend further eastward into the Northeast, where you could easily experience temperatures close to 25 degrees above average in the New York City area. So this is definitely something you guys want to keep in mind, and maybe celebrate if you do prefer the warmer air temperatures throughout the eastern half of the United States, especially since this might be the first time in a long time you'll experience temperatures like this, because of course we're in the winter time, and this doesn't typically happen. We don't see anomalies this high during the winter time when it comes to temperatures. But next, let's take a look at the future radar to see what you should expect throughout the Midwest from this snowstorm, and see when you should experience your first snowflake. So if we were to move forward right around 10 p.m. Thursday or tonight, you see that the snow is pretty much swallowing the entire Rocky Mountain ranges of Colorado, especially western Colorado, and we're seeing the snow begin to approach Nebraska and the extreme southwestern portions of North Dakota, continuing to move forward. The snow eventually does extend further and further northward, where by 4 a.m. on Friday, a lot of southern South Dakota should be under heavier snowfall, but it'll get even worse as we move even more forward, where now South Dakota, the southern portions and northern portions of Nebraska are deep within the snow by right around, I'd say, early Friday morning. That's when the snow should begin for a lot of you guys in South Dakota and Nebraska. And if you were to continue to move forward, you see the snow will eventually extend to Minnesota right around noon time on Friday, and then we should see heavy snow still impacting South Dakota, still impacting Nebraska, and the snow should definitely be right around Des Moines right around Friday afternoon. So that's something you want to keep in mind. And we should see the snow extend to Wisconsin and Michigan by late Friday into early Saturday, and this snow should continue from Minneapolis, and it should be significant for a lot of you guys. So make sure to stay prepared for a major snowstorm throughout the Midwest for this week, over the next 24 to 48 hours. Next, let's take a look at the snowfall forecast over the next 3 days for the Midwest. We're gonna take a look at that, and you're gonna see that for this forecast, I'm forecasting right around 6 to 12 inches of snow extending through Wisconsin, through Minnesota. This is including Minneapolis as well, but it's going to be a closer forecast from Minneapolis because you're right between the 3 to 6 to 6 to 12 inch category. This extends to southern South Dakota. This extends to Wyoming and the western portion of Colorado, and I'd say Salt Lake City should receive right around 1 to 3 inches of snow. So is Denver, Colorado. Omaha should receive maybe around 1 to 3. And Des Moines should receive maybe 3 to 6 inches. But it's going to be another one of those coast forecasts for you guys. Really depends, like I said, on where that rain snow line will be located as this heads further eastward. But this is something you need to prepare for. Make sure to stay indoors for tonight, because getting close to a foot of snow is definitely something you don't want to mess around with in the Midwest. So make sure to prepare all through the Midwest for this major snowstorm. But yeah, guys, I guess that's it for this video. I thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more weather-related content. Make sure to like if you like this video, and make sure to turn on post notifications if you want to see even more weather-related content. And I hope you guys have a good day.